Rasa for the Awesemo Odds Betting Show. Ben, this is your third show in a row. Are you dying right now?
No, I'm all right. I was telling you, I'm a morning person. I'm built for this. I'm gonna get a insane lunch after this. I'm starving, but no, great shows with three of my favorites. I had Luffy, Manny, you and me. We're about to talk some NFL betting. I'm gonna sneak in some college football at the end there. Happy Friday. How you doing?
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend ahead. I feel like we got to take advantage of these last few weeks here, man. It's getting to be the end, and we're gonna be lamenting the end of NFL season before we know it.
It's insane. It's so crazy how fast it goes every year. Like college football is straight over. We're gonna be in playoff bowl game mode next week.
Oh my God, that's nuts. We got some good college games too. So we're gonna go. Jordan has jury duty right now, so he's unable to make the show. I can't even believe that. He's been there all week, but we've got some picks in his stead. We're gonna do our usual 3 games each, and then make our survivor picks. And then Ben's got his degen. I don't even know. Are there degen picks this week? I feel like it's all there aren't that many games for you to pick in college football.
No, I mean the real shenanigans will occur in college basketball because like there's so many teams, and you can
Right.
just bet you know like Austin. I've been betting Austin P like every day. They're my team. The Governors don't sleep on Terry and the gang there, but that's neither here nor there. So
That's
we will
awesome.
get into all that. But we got some NFL to break down for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just give a shout out as well to our sponsor, EV Analytics, where you can bet like a pro. You can achieve more profitable results by leveraging powerful analytics. They sophisticated betting models that handicap the true value of betting opportunities. You can learn more at evanalytics.com. Their site is nuts. They've got so much information on there. You can spend hours just checking out their betting models, real time odds, betting stats. So I really like that site a lot, and you should go check it out for sure, especially if you're betting, because there is some advantage to be had there for sure. All right, should we get into it?
Let's do it.
You want to go first?
Sure, I'll do that. I'm not pulling any punches. I'm going to the big games here.
Oh wow, I like it. I
I
like it.
like the Saints -2.5 at
Whoa.
home in the dome against the Niners. It's a couple things. One, San Francisco is just in a gauntlet right now. They were with Seattle, then they had to go into Baltimore. Now they're in the road in New Orleans. It's just such a bad stretch for them. The running game. I know they want to lean on the running game. That's the Saints' strength up front. They had 9 sacks on Thanksgiving. Jimmy G, I'm not completely sold on. And when you just look at Breeze, Kamara, Michael Thomas, Jared Cook has emerged healthy. This game could very well decide the number 1 seed in the NFC. I like the number, getting it under 3, and I do think that the Saints find a way at home to put another loss on the Niners.
Damn, man, that hurts me a little bit as
Sorry,
a
bro.
Niners fan. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this Niners team. Like I've been betting against them for the most part this year. And I've been wrong about them a lot. So I'll definitely just trust your take there. I mean, this is gonna be, that line moved down, right? Was it -3, and now it's -2.5.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a juggernaut. We got a lot of good games on this slate too. So, I could see it kind of going both ways. The Niners are also getting healthy. Kittle running in the slot a lot of the times, or running inside, where the Saints have had a lot of trouble defending that position. We could see a big Kittle game as well. Man, like I don't know. I'm lean towards the Niners side of this one a little bit, but because that line moved down to 2.5 and you're getting the Saints in a dome, it's hard to pass that up. Hey.
I think so. I just think right now this is a team that we're getting the best version of them, and they are at home in a spot against San Francisco, and it's nothing they've done wrong. It's just very hard to go, back. They're just in Baltimore, hard fought game. Now it's a turnaround. Going to the Superdome is just a very tough spot. So we will see. But what about you? What caught your eye kind of with all these spreads? Because we have a lot of games, no
Yeah,
buys.
man, 13 gamer. It's no more buys for us. So one game, actually, I found like a lot of the numbers that I liked have kind of moved in the past few days. The week opened up with a lot of great. The Tennessee line I liked a lot. I like this line a lot, and it's also moving in the opposite way that I want it to. But Lions plus 13.5. You could have got it at plus 14. This has the most reverse line movement so far of any line. Lines plus 13 and a half, 60% of the bets, 85% of the money are on the Lions are so far, and it's moved down about a point. So I'm seeing it anywhere from like 12 and a half to 13 and a half right now, but it's not going to go back up to 14, unfortunately. Adam Thielen questionable, which leads me to believe that he, if he is able to play, he's not going to be 100%. And we also got sort of, I don't know how injured Dalvin Cook is. We'll have to wait until closer to. Not that I'm super worried about it. I feel like Madison's a like for like replacement there in terms of adding value to a line. So I'm not really overly concerned about it. I kind of liked what I saw from Blow last week in Thanksgiving. Like, he didn't look out of place. He didn't look terrible. He made some throws. They have some weapons. Xavier Rhodes been bad this year. There are ways to pick on this Minnesota defense. I'm not sure that the Minnesota offense is all that explosive. Like, I don't think they should be favored by 14 points over anyone. So yeah, I'm going to take the Lions and take the points here.
I think that's very reasonable. I mean, the Vikings are a team that we've seen, they've lost a hard-fought game at Seattle. No shame there. They rallied a miracle win at home against Denver. They were dead to rights in that game a couple weeks ago. Stormed back, credit to them, but at the same time, you're not talking about winning the game. You're talking about covering almost a 2-touchdown spread here. Yeah. So they can't be doing that. And Blow did look good. I mean, he got Galladay over the top. I think it's going to be more underneath, but at the same time, if they can move the ball, you mentioned Xavier Rhodes has been awful. Dalvin Cook is banged up. Madison is very good. We'll see with Thielen. So I don't mind it. I think Minnesota does win the game, but I wouldn't be stunned to see, like a 27-20 type game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking too. Lots of DFS angles here too. Like Dalvin Cook's going to be pretty popular, I'm sure. So I'm really intrigued about this game. I actually think it's going to be better than most people think, but yeah, we'll see. All right, who you got for pick number 2?
Like I said, man, I'm not pulling any punches. I'm going to the other conference, their biggest game.
Yeah, who you got?
I like New England. I hope, believe me, I'll stay right up front. I hope I'm wrong. I can't stand them. But undefeated once again at Foxborough. It is just a team every time they are, and I don't even say that they are wounded, but they could really use this game with the Ravens pressing down on them with home field here. At home, they're just so deadly. And what I really think we see is Sony Michel have a prominent role here. Last year in this game, he had 100-plus yards and 2 touchdowns in that wild 43-40 game in Foxborough. I don't know if it'll be that crazy in terms of a shootout, but I think New England takes the air out of the ball. And I ultimately think that they do find a way to hold serve once again at home, and they just always seem to win there.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of this one.
Oh, good. Talk to me.
Yeah. So this is one of my picks as well. What line are you seeing for this one? Are you getting 3 still?
I see 3. I certainly, in real life, because I do plan on betting this game, I will be shopping around and hopefully can find a 2.5 somewhere. But yeah. I see 3 right now.
I would not be surprised because this opened at 4. It's been bet down to 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 2.5. Would you?
No, I think that a lot of people right now are soured, and I get it. I totally get that. Believe me, I am the furthest thing from a Patriots person. But Brady looks pretty dusty. They're not playing well. I think people think that the Chiefs, this is a good spot for them, but New England at home, again, they're just so dangerous there. We'll have to see with the weather.
Yeah, that's fair. So mine, I don't really have a data take here, but I do I've not been high on the Patriots recently, and it's paid a little bit of dividend so far. Their offense to me doesn't strike me as very explosive. It's Mohamed Sanu banged up. You got Edelman. They're probably going to mix in James White, and then what kind of weapons do they have? They've just got nothing on offense right now. And Brady, I don't know if Brady's washed. I mean, every time you write him off, people were writing him off halfway through that game, and then he threw 3 picks or three touchdowns and threw for 300 yards. Maybe that was against the prevent defense because they were so far behind. But at the same time, he doesn't look the same And like, eventually, eventually people are going to be right when they call him washed, right? Like Father Time's still undefeated. So I don't really like the Patriots offense. And I also think that people are overvaluing the Patriots defense. They were historically great, but they've put up two games now against Houston and against Baltimore. They've gotten torched. So I think the Patriots defense is overrated just because the quality of their competition has been so weak this season. And then Kansas City's defense on the other side is kind of underrated. They're number one in DVO against number one wide receivers. That might not translate too well to Edelman because usually that factors into like wide receivers on the outside, not guys who run in the slot very often. And then really good against tight ends as well. Top 5 in takeaways. So I feel like this, what was an abysmal Kansas City defense is actually not too bad. They're just really bad against the run. So if New England is able to establish the run and is able to run the ball down their throat, then maybe that's a scenario. But I'm going to take the Chiefs and take the points. They're finally getting healthy. Give me Pat Mahomes here, and I think the Chiefs actually win out right.
I hope they do. But yeah, I'll say. So it's interesting because I am in line with everything. It's funny. I've had a good pulse on the Patriots. I really like Baltimore. I actually like the Texans last week.
Yeah.
It's just what the Chiefs defense does good. You kind of just mentioned it. They're going to take away a number one receiver. Well, New England doesn't really have one. They're going to take away the tight end. New England doesn't have one. New England.
You're using my points against me, Ben.
They never turn the ball over either. And I think, as Chap pointed out, I like the under here as well, too. I think if New England wins this game, it's with long, methodical drives headed by Sony Michel. If this is a shootout, I'm in line with you. The Patriots defense, yes, it's very good. It's not historic anything. The Chiefs will move the ball here. We'll see what they do with Gilmore. I think they probably, I don't know what they do, if they put him on Watkins or roll him to Kelsey. Regardless, the Chiefs will have some success. I think a low-scoring, methodical game is the best Patriots out.
How was this not flexed to the Sunday nighter? Is there a reason?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good games. I get Seattle and the Rams, but
Seahawks, Rams. It's too bad. I was really hoping to like play some serious showdown slates on this one because I feel like there's some game script angles here that are pretty obvious that you could kind of take advantage of. But yeah, all right. Well, we will see. We will see, my man. It's going to be we have some great games this week, eh? Seahawks, Rams, and it's one of those ones where there's one in every single time slot too, right?
Oh, it's loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, just up and down. The game last night was something. I don't even know what to make of that, but it was pertinent for those teams.
Yeah. Bills, Ravens. All right, give me your third one.
So my third game, and this is just, I don't really love laying a ton of points, but I think that Houston finds a way to just continue to roll. They're a 9-point favorite at home. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson was so efficient against the Patriots. He caught a touchdown, which is, don't really need to talk about that. But, Drew Lock coming on the road, I don't think he's going to have as smooth of time as he did with the Chargers. I think with Houston playing really good ball, Deshaun Watson, Hopkins going to have their way, force the Broncos into more of a one-dimensional attack. I think that could spell bad news, especially if Von Miller sits. That defense not what it would normally be.
Yeah, this is actually one of the games that I was talking about that like the lines moved away from what I would have bet earlier on in the week, and I'm in total agreement with you. It opened at 7.5. It's now up to 9. I think that's still pretty reasonable. Drew Lock didn't look too bad against the Chargers.
No, he didn't.
So that's kind of why I'm a little bit concerned about it. It's sort of like anytime you've got like this rookie, it's a bit of an unknown. It's like an X factor, and I try to stay away from those games to bet them just because like, there's a wider range of outcomes when we don't know about the opposing quarterback. So, but I agree with everything you said though. It seems like the Texans are kind of starting to roll a little bit. Hey.
Yeah, I think, and the AFC South is so bunched. They need these games. They cannot afford anything. And, I think for me, it's funny that you say that. I don't want to call it even a bias, but I've seen Drew Lock so much because of college football. Like, I feel like I have I don't want to say a better read because that's not the case. It's just I'm more comfortable backing positions with games of rookie quarterbacks just because I have seen Drew Lock a lot. I know it's a totally different scenario, and he did look good. But I feel like that comes into play when some of these spots are not as prone to stayaways for me.
Are you a Drew Lock guy?
I do like him. I like the pick. At Missouri, he's got the talent. more of a Danny Dimes guy. I really like him, but
You're
we'll
an
see.
Eli
I mean,
Manning guy this week, right?
yeah, well, that's whew, Eli, the GOAT coming back. It's so ridiculous with football. That's a whole nother show we could do. You know, Lamar Jackson is the perfect case. Like, if you have a smart, competent team around you that can show and play to you, it gives you such a good chance to succeed. We'll see what some of these teams build around these guys, but I think in this actual game, the Texans really caused some problems for him.
All right, I like that call a lot. I'm irrationally excited about my Saquon Barkley lineups. By the way, this week,
Really?
knows him over McCaffrey a lot, but Eli coming back, baby, it's going to be 8 catches for 92 yards.
I know this is not related to the show, but it is in the sense that we are talking betting. If the Eagles lose this game after Dallas lost again, they should cancel. They should just cancel the NFC East. Just get rid of the division.
We're gonna need a week off for Laffy.
It's
especially,
insane, like
especially
how
if
bad
Baltimore drops another one.
some of these teams. The NFC is so ridiculous right now.
Mm,
Like the Packers, somebody is going to end up playing probably the Cowboys still in a road playoff wild card game.
yeah, and it's probably going to be the 49ers. It's looking like right now. So
How crazy is that? Like, yeah, Seattle, somebody is going to be up there. It's nuts.
bad beats, man, bad beats. All right, Carolina. My God, I'm going to take final pick. I'm going to take the Cardinals plus 2.5.
Ooh, I looked at them so closely. Did it. All right. So you think they knock off the Steelers outright, I assume?
Yeah. Steelers. I mean, so I think like most projection models I've seen give them the Steelers anywhere from like a point should be like a half point to a 1.5 favorite. So you're getting a little bit of value there. I think. A little cross country. I always like to take advantage of these cross country flights. Pittsburgh's 7-15 in their last 22 traveling east to west. That doesn't mean a lot. It's not overly predictive, but it's nice to be on the right side of that one. I just don't think the Steelers are all that good. Like their defense is good, and this may come down to takeaways. If they can force takeaways and run the ball, then sure, they absolutely could win this game. But they're banged up. Their wide receivers banged up. Is Marquise Pouncey still out? By the way, I forgot to check that. Is he still suspended?
One,
Steelers
two.
depth chart. I'm gonna look that up right now because that's another tick in their column.
I want to say he's back, but I could be wrong.
I think he might be back too. It's just a one gamer. Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah,
two.
he's back.
Yeah. Okay.
He's back. So Juju questionable. I'm guessing. Do we know? I'm guessing he probably doesn't go. Not that that's a big deal. James Washington and Deontay Johnson are kind of emerging as decent threats, but Devlin Hodges, I don't know, traveling cross country, taking on Kyler. I'll take the points here. The Cardinals have been. I don't know what happened with that Rams game. I was actually kind of on the Cardinals side of things if the Rams played so poorly against the Ravens. But they looked great. But the Cardinals have played the 49ers tight twice, the Falcons, the Bengals, the Giants. Like they're totally capable of playing with a mediocre team. I think Kyler Murray's making strides. And yeah, I'll take the points here. I think these are two pretty even teams at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like I said, I leaned to the Cardinals. They were on the list. They did not make it. And Pittsburgh, credit to them, they have found ways to win games. They're on a little winning streak here, 7-6, 7. Like they're winning competitive games, and they need to stay in this playoff hunt. But I'm not really sold on what is a makeshift offense with Duck Hodges. You mentioned Connor. Everyone is banged up. I don't know how many points they can put up in Arizona. Although they have not been great, I think that Kingsbury's doing a decent job. I'm not going to fault them too much for the game got away from them against the Rams, but they've been competitive, especially at home, with some teams. And when you really look at their schedule, they have faced, I mean, the NFC West is brutal. Like you're getting Seattle twice, you're getting the Niners twice.
Yeah.
Those are tough teams. So, and
yeah,
the Rams
exactly.
twice.
That's a great point, right? Like they've played a tough schedule for sure.
Absolutely. Like all 6 of their division games are brutal. Whereas the Steelers, they're getting 2 against the Bengals. Browns and the Ravens, tough. I'm not saying it's not, but I think this is a game I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cardinals win outright. And if you do take them money line, you're obviously going to get, in like plus 110 range. That does add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I got an honorable mention too. I was really humming and hawing between choosing these two, but I really like Washington plus 12.5 this week.
Really? You think they can hang in Lambeau?
I think so. I think so. I kind of like them outright. Is that crazy?
Oh my, oh them.
Big
Okay.
one. What's the line on that?
That well, I have it
Plus
right here.
350?
Let's go to the videotape. Well,
Let's go to the tape.
the first book I went to doesn't have it. I'll log into another book that I use and we'll see what we can muster up. But talk to me. I have not heard anybody even remotely mention Washington.
Plus plus 550 right now. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, so watching that game yesterday or last week, like Haskins is not great. I think that's clear. But he, like, there are moments. I think he has moments where he doesn't look terrible. And as well, like Darius Geis, they seem to be able to run the ball. And this Washington defense is actually pretty underrated at this point. Their defensive line is really good. They were ranked fourth in adjusted sack rate. It's a tough matchup for them because Green Bay's pass protection has been so good. So maybe outright is probably a pretty insane call plus 550, but I really like them to cover the 12 and a half. It opened at 14 or 14 and a half, and it's been bet down to 12 and a half. So I'm still going to stick with the Washington side on this one.
Oh wow. Like I said, so a couple of things. Haskins, you're right. He hasn't looked great. Super talented guy. I think he's going to be good in long term. But they did. I'm not saying Carolina's great. They went in and they got a win there.
Yeah.
They held on. Darius Geis, I think, is seriously something. Now, I don't know. I think you would acknowledge if they fall behind early and he gets phased out, it could be really bad. That's my one worry with the Redskins. If they
Yeah.
can control the tempo like they did last week and lean on Geis, slow the game, maybe they can hang in. I just worry what happens if Haskins turns it over. They're throwing to Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones is gutting them. It's cold. We'll see what the
That's
weather will be. But
that's a great point. Yeah, like if the game script, if they can stay in it
yep.
or stay ahead early, then I think the game script could favor them and they could stay. But you're right. Like they're if Green Bay just gets out to a quick start, they're done.
Yeah, that's what I worry about with Haskins specifically. Like if he drops back 40 plus times, I have a feeling it could get out of hand.
Yeah. All right. All right. You talked me down a little bit from it.
No, you know what? People, I think it's something that we, and certainly as the show will go on and we get into next year, it's something I always like to explore. I know people hear it, but I think it's worth explanation. When you take something, say, plus 550 or plus 500,
mm-hmm.
you are acknowledging that predominantly you're going to lose that bet. That's not what you're saying. What you're saying, though, is that the odds favor it in terms of the payoff. You know what I mean? It's like if you think the Redskins win 1/3 of the time, that means 2/3 they lose the game and you lose your bet. But 1/3 of the time, you're getting 5-1 on a 33% thing. That's great equity.
Those bets are so much more fun, It's like you're not sweating as much money, right? Like, and there's a greater gain. I always like bets like that.
Yeah, and I agree. Haskins does have basically zero chance to drop back 40 times. But if he does, let me tell you, it's going to be bad. They need to limit his throwing as much as possible and try to solve this game. He's actually been pretty good scrambling, which is not something.
Yeah. Like, and it wasn't something I expected. Like, he wasn't a great scrambler in college, if memory serves.
No, not at all. But we'll see. Like I said, that's a lot of points for any, especially late in the season.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Run defense not so good, but you got a survivor pick.
Survivor pick. So
don't tell me
it's actually it's Green Bay. I have them left. I didn't have a ton early in the year of like slam dunk spots where they were the clear team and they need this game. We just talked about Minnesota's right on their heels.
Yeah.
We'll see what Geis and them can do, but I think Green Bay finds a way to win regardless of the game script. With Rodgers, they're getting healthy at home. They hold serve easily.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I think the two most obvious ones we only have two games above a 10-point spread, and they're both around 13. So, and that's Minnesota over Detroit and Green Bay. I still like the Detroit side of this one. I think plus the points, but I'll take Minnesota. I think actually Green Bay is probably the safer play here. So you might if you're still left in your survivor and you take Green Bay, you could always hedge with a little plus 550. Yeah, I
don't know if that's you or me. I don't know if you're frozen or I'm frozen, so I'm just going to start talking. I'll just say for me, I had Minnesota. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Nice.
You're back. I was just saying I would be really jumping up and down, tossing and turning. I don't have Minnesota available for my picks. I use them actually against the Redskins, I believe, a couple weeks earlier in the season. They played pretty bad, but they won. I think it was a Thursday night game. So I just Packers are the obvious choice for me.
Yeah, fair enough. And the other one's Philadelphia, but like I don't know. I don't feel great about Philadelphia right now. 9.5 point favorite over the Giants. Those are kind of your three choices this week. And like likelihood, there's a likelihood that you have one of them left, anyways. Though I'm guessing a lot of people. Well, if you took Philly over Miami, then you're done anyway. So
Yeah, it's all about. I mean, at this point in the season, there's not much left in survivors. If you're still alive in your pool, you're not with many people.
yeah.
And
Well,
just
we actually have like I got to get you in this pool next year. We have a second half survivor, which is
that's
nice.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like it keeps you in it until the end, right? Everyone should do that.
Oh no, ton of fun. Survivor. I've been writing an article all year, and it's been actually one of my favorite articles to write. It's so much fun to break it down each and every week.
And super popular. One of the most popular articles on the site. People love their survivor pools, and they love reading your column.
I think it's one of those things, probably the former, but yeah, people love survivor pools. I'll say that much.
Nice. All right. Well, it's time to head over to the college realm of things where I just sit back and listen to you talk about your favorite bets. Army versus Appalachian State. I don't know. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, we got Appalachian State is actually playing. So yeah, it's championship week. I'm obviously very sad because normally this would be my rant about how Oregon is going to beat Utah and get in the playoff. That's all done because Herm Edwards ended everything
What?
at
What?
Arizona
What
State.
happened?
Oregon lost. They went to Arizona
Oh.
State and they lost, so they are done. They are playing Utah tonight, but they're just kind of playing spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
So we have about I think it's like 8 to 10 games, and I have a DFS preview because I love the slate on the DFS side of it. It's a tough betting slate though.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of rematches. We got Baylor and Oklahoma. Baylor was pounding them at home. Oklahoma outscored them 24-0 in the second half to steal that game. It's a 9-point spread this time. I kind of lean to Oklahoma laying the points. I think that Baylor had their chance to beat them. And here with CD Lamb, their best receiver, coming back, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, I think they find a way to really just wear Baylor down. I don't think they can keep up offensively in a shootout. So that's the game that I kind of like the most, which is the Big 12 championship. The big game is Georgia and LSU. I don't have a play on it. It's really tough. I think I would lean to LSU. It's a touchdown game, but man, Georgia not going to be intimidated. Certainly, if they win, they're in the playoff. If LSU loses, they're still in.
I'm seeing like an opening line here of plus 3.5, and it's been bet up to plus 7. Is that like an opening line from way back, or is that like an opening line from this week? Because that's
So
not.
it's definitely from this week. I don't know if it's related to DeAndre Swift, who's Georgia's real good running back. He is questionable. I don't know what the status is. I don't think he would make that big of impression anyway.
Yeah.
I think people are just, LSU's looked fantastic. We'll see what Fromm is made of. But for me, if there's a spot, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I do expect Wisconsin, they're a 16-point underdog, to play a lot better than they showed in Columbus. They went to Ohio State in the rain and they got blown out 31-7, I think it was. Jonathan Taylor was ineffective. I don't think we see that here. I think that they play well. They establish the run better than they did. I don't think they can beat Ohio State, but I'm going to take the 16 points with Wisconsin. I think the defense keeps them in it, and we'll see. Ohio State, I mean, they're undefeated. They've answered every challenge with flying colors. They murdered Michigan. I was dead wrong on that. So we'll see. But I lean to Wisco against the Buckeyes.
16.5 point line, hey?
Yeah, 56.5 total. Um, you know, Ohio State is fantastic. They've got Dobbins, they've got Fields, they've got Chase Young, who probably going to be the number one pick in the draft out of that D line. Wisconsin is a team that is built. We were talking about this with Haskins. He's a Buckeye, but with the Redskins, they can't fall behind. You don't want them throwing. They're the same way. They don't have a strong passing attack. They have to keep in the game with the run to hang in. If it gets out of hand early, Ohio State's going to win going away. But I don't think that'll happen. And I actually think that off a big win against Minnesota, we could see them play pretty well here and maybe hang in what would be a huge upset if they ever won.
Now, do any of these like teams on the edge, like if let's just say Utah wins big or something this week over Oregon, do they have a shot? Like let's say LSU pummels Georgia, Utah wins big. Are they going to get into the playoffs?
Okay, so here we go. We'll do it real quick. We
All right,
got
lay it on me.
LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State are all undefeated.
Yeah, so they're just in.
I don't see any possible way that they won't get in. I guess if Clemson lost, they would be out, but they're 30-point favorite. They're 28 and a half. They're not going to lose to Virginia.
Yeah.
Right now, Georgia is sitting with one loss in the 4 spot. They play LSU. If they win, they're definitely in. No doubt about it. If they lose, and they are expected to lose, we've got Oklahoma and Utah both with one loss. If those both win, you're going to have a real conversation. Is it Oklahoma? Is it Utah?
Yeah.
And that's really what it's going to come down to in my eyes.
And if Baylor wins, like Georgia still gets in, hey?
If Baylor wins, they would, in my opinion, be behind Utah. But if everybody loses and Baylor's the only team with one loss, they will get in and they will get, I think, absolutely destroyed by whoever they play.
God, Wisconsin has to be just killing them or just kicking themselves right now. If they had one loss,
Yep,
they'd be right in the conversation. Hey,
absolutely. If they beat Ohio State with one loss, they would have got in. They're not going to get in with 2. It's going to be crazy. I personally think that Utah should get it if they beat Oregon and Georgia loses. I think Oklahoma will get it though. But as Chad pointed out, I'm in 100. Ohio State and LSU are in. There's no doubt about it. Clemson, if they win, and they're not going to lose. So they're in. It's really Georgia, Oklahoma, Utah, and I guess Baylor. That's really what we're talking about. And Oklahoma and Baylor obviously play. So we'll knock one of them right out immediately.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. Any college basketball action for us?
So we'll see. I mean, we've just come back from tournaments, and we've come back from the ACC Big Ten Challenge, which is where, they'd all pair up. We saw Ohio State absolutely whoop North Carolina, which I was really, really shocked to see. We've seen some other things. Duke went in, absolutely smoked Michigan State, things of that nature. We don't have a ton of games tonight. I will say that you boys, I know you're Iowa Hawkeye. They are going into Michigan tonight. They're a 6.5-point underdog. I think they could play all right. I do have a slight lean there. And then I will throw out one weird game, and it's real weird. I lean to Montana tonight a little. The Grizzlies, they are at home against North Dakota. It's just a team I've had my eye on here and there. They play out of Big Sky. Again, 6.5 points. I don't know what exactly I want to do with that. -275 on the money line. It's not a great slate. Tomorrow, Saturday, there's like hundreds of games. I will be in our premium Slack chat breaking it all down. If anyone has any questions, hop in there. I always love talking a little CBB because there's so many games. You can find a lot of value out there.
Nice. I like it, man. I like it. Can't wait for March Madness. Gets you through, right?
It really does. One of the best times of the year.
Absolutely. All right, man. You got any final thoughts? Any final bets for anyone?
No, I think, we broke it down good, and it's a real fun weekend. Like I said, college football is great. People, I hope, check it out. I have my DFS stuff posted for that slate. We'll be talking college basketball. I know, Nolan, you're always involved in the hockey. We're in the thick of the season right now. I don't even know what's going on with my poor Rangers.
Not so good.
Not so good. Okay, I got to pick a new team. How are the Sharks?
Not so good as well. Yeah, kind of have it down year for sure.
Canucks. Who's good? The Oilers.
Yeah, the Oilers are a little bit good. The Arizona Coyotes just took over top spot in the Pacific Division, which everyone's talking about today. I don't even know what to do with that. So
I thought they were still Phoenix. That shows where I'm at.
And John Carlson is now Bobby Orr, and that's pretty much the
Connor McDavid season. That's
yeah,
that's all I got. But yeah, no, like I said, if anyone has any questions, just find me on Twitter, find me on Slack. I know there's a lot of games that I'd love to get to. It's just there's so many, it's tough to break them all down.
I like it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. We're going to wrap up things a little bit early here. We have in about 20 minutes, Awesemo himself and I will be going over the Yahoo slate this week. We break down the top 5 highest implied total games, and then we talk about what we're going to do with our lineups over there. So make sure to come check that out. What are you got? You got more shows this weekend? Are you filling in for anyone?
No, I think I am good.
Yeah.
No,
You think you're
tomorrow,
completely right?
as I always do, I will be answering questions leading up to lock for college football in our office hours, which is one of the great tools. I think it's such a fun idea. We
Yeah,
all hop in there and do that. And then Sunday, back at it with Awesemo and Laffy breaking down the Sunday NFL slate.
I like it. All right. We will be back next Friday. Jordan will be back, I'm assuming. So we will be at full force for the first time in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today, and we will see you all next week.